This is Secret America.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Jack Danger along with Jay Gatling, and we now have an 11th death in the whole nuclear and space programs. We had 10, now we have number 11. Apparently, a UFO linked scientist who warned that her life was in danger, found dead at the age of 34, according to Daily Mail. So we now have an 11th person. And after we spoke about it the other day, it was the day before yesterday. After we spoke about it, Trump went on and said that he was going to initiate an investigation and all this other stuff. And I told you, Jay, it seems like he watches the show. Maybe it's just me, but every time we talk about something that's important, the next day, he does something about it. Maybe it's just me. I don't know, but there's a lot of coincidences. Let's put it that way. So let's say that. And I want to give a shout out to actress and model Teresa Longo. She actually had her blog on her website, which is teresalongo.com. And she put up, that Secret America is the top podcast right now. And I just think that's really awesome that she did that. I really appreciate stuff like that, because she's been an excellent guest. She's a really cool person. So, actually, you know what? I'm actually going to show it real quick, Jay. I want people to see this because it's really cool. And not only is it about the previous time she was on the show, but take a look at this, guys. If you can see that right there, you see where it says Secret America Podcast, top-rated show hosted by Jack Danger and Jay Gatling. And it's really cool. It's just a great article, a great blog post by her. And, so if you go to teresalongo.com, you can check it out because it's got a lot of the good information. It shows where we had, Roger Stone on and Dr. Robert Malone and, just a bunch of really cool stuff. It talks about some of our best episodes and all the places you can find us. So just wanted to tell Teresa Longo that we really appreciate that. I think that's really cool, Jay. What do you think?
Oh, I thought it was awesome. I mean, both articles were amazing.
Yeah, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just something that was thrown together. It was actually researched, and a lot was
put a lot of thought into it. Yeah,
exactly. She put a lot of thought into it, and it was really nice of her. We love Teresa; she's a great person. So, thank you, Teresa. Really, we appreciate you. That was great.
Absolutely. So, guys, before we get really started, like I said, there's an 11th person that's dead now. We're going to look more into that. Before we get started, I just want to say, make sure you guys check out maxassociates.etsy.com. We've talked about them before. It really is the best place to get USA Pride gifts and patriotic apparel. Jay, we tell people this every day. Their prices are unbeatable. I mean, whatever price you see, if you see a shirt that says $23, it's automatically take 20% off of that and free shipping in anywhere in the US. I mean, you can't beat that, especially with the type of products they have. It's not the regular, bull crap that's mass produced. It's actually really cool stuff.
Yeah, it's specific stuff. Like I said, it speaks to who you are. Like specifically, if you're a MAGA person, if you're just a ultra patriotic American, it speaks to you. If you're against illegal immigration, you could find something that they have, a shirt or something that'll tell everybody exactly how you feel. So it's really great stuff. And Jack's right. The prices, 20% off anything over $20 and free shipping. You're not going to beat that. You're not going to find that anywhere. I'm telling you, that's a great deal.
Yeah, that, and then like we said, the diverse products, because it's everything else is like mass produced, but not here. It's totally different stuff. It's just specific and very cool. We got the QR code up there in the top right. You can scan that QR code right now to take you straight to the website. You automatically get 20% off. There's no code you have to put in or anything. You automatically get free shipping. There's no code that you have to put in at all. So, it's really cool. So we just wanted to say thank you to maxassociates.etsy.com. They are a great website. And Jay and I both, like we said, we order from there ourselves. So it's not something that we're pitching to you that we wouldn't use ourselves. Really, really great stuff.
100%.
All right. So you know what I want to do real quick, Jay? I want to show everybody Eli from Live from America TV Network, which is the network that we're on. I mean, we're also on our own stuff like Rumble and X and YouTube and all that other stuff, but we're also on the Live from America TV Network. And Eli is an excellent producer. He's the one that makes our thumbnails. So I want to pull up this thumbnail that I had Eli make today. So what I do is I tell him what I want, and he's able to bring it up. He's able to make it. It's actually really impressive.
He brings it to life. He brings it to life.
He does. He does. So everybody, check out this right here. This is our thing for today. It's Trump versus Pope Leo. You can see me as the referee right there. See how it says Secret America on the ring floor? I love that. But you got Trump, you got Pope Leo, who still has the thing on the top of his head, which is hilarious. But you see Jay back there. He's the announcer with the microphone.
That makes sense.
And it's really cool, man. It's the way he makes them come to life. He puts the headline up at the top. And, so Eli, I wanted to give a shout out to him because, we really appreciate all the stuff that he does. And honestly, he actually, Jay, believe it or not, he said that he is willing to make them for other people too. And so I wanted to tell people that, that Eli is, you can email him at E3GraphicD. That's E, the letter E, the number 3, the word graphic, and then the letter D at gmail.com if you want him to make some cool thumbnails for you. So anyways, the reason I wanted to bring up that thumbnail is because, it's Trump versus Pope Leo, and there's so much going on with that, Jay. I mean, you know how it started with Pope Leo's, criticism around April 11th or 12th. Pope Leo spoke out strongly against the war in Iran. At a prayer vigil in St. Peter's Basilica, he condemned the delusion of omnipotence, driving the conflict, called for peace, denounced absurd and inhuman violence. And obviously Trump's, he's not going to take that laying down. So, later that day, Trump fired back on Truth Social with a lengthy post. He called the Pope weak on crime, terrible for foreign policy, accused him of catering to the radical left, and told him to focus on being a great Pope and not a politician. And I have to agree. The Pope's position is to be a religious leader, not a politician. It's not his job to comment on wars and foreign policy. It's not. He's an American, believe it or not. He's from Chicago, and I understand how he wants to feel like he has some kind of power. But if you're going to be the Pope, you're not in that realm. Okay, everybody needs to stick to their own realm. Like when you got LeBron James out there whining about politics, shut up and dribble. That's your job. Do what we want to see you do. We don't want to hear you talk about. I don't want to hear the Pope talk about the fucking war. Who gives a goddamn what the Pope thinks about the war?
Jack, repent. No, listen, stay in your lane, kind of thing. The Pope
Thank you. Yes, exactly.
But the Pope can, preach and ask for peace. That's fine. He could do that. The way the Pope, I think, where he ran into trouble here, and I'm not Catholic, I am Christian. But I think where the Pope ran into a problem is he got kind of specific, and he got kind of specific, and you knew he was aiming at President Trump. His words were aimed specifically at President Trump.
Exactly.
Anybody could see that. And then he kind of stepped in it again, because after President Trump retaliated with his truth, and there was a couple of problems I had with the truth. I didn't think he had to mention the Pope's brother. His brother certainly had nothing to do with it. He didn't have to mention that. Oh,
what did he say about the Pope?
He basically said the brother is a great guy, and he compared him to Pope Leo. You didn't have to bring the brother into it. He didn't say anything bad about.
If the brother's a great guy, then what's the problem?
He didn't have to bring him into it. Like, he didn't even have to mention him. That was
my
issue.
If he said something negative, I could understand.
Yeah, I just didn't think he even had to be mentioned. The brother's got nothing to do with this. But he also kind of mentioned if it wasn't for President Trump, that Pope Leo wouldn't have been chosen because he's an American Pope.
I don't know
that that's 100% true. But other than that, I had no problem with him pushing back, because Pope Leo's criticisms were very one-sided towards the United States and towards President Trump. Mm-hmm. The thing I think that Pope Leo made the big mistake I think he made, and a lot of people aren't talking about this, is the next day he mentioned President Trump by name. He said, I have nothing to fear with the Trump administration. That is very strange. You really don't hear popes ever do that. You kind of would have thought that after he said what he said, President Trump said what he said, that the Pope would have diffused the situation completely and kind of just let it die on the vine. But he didn't. He kind of went even further and brought President Trump up by name. And the problem that I have with the whole thing from jump is, well, Pope Leo, you never really called out Iran by name when Iran has murdered protesters, innocent protesters. Yeah, you kind of vaguely brought it up, which is fine. That's kind of the Pope's lane, Jack. Bring things up vaguely. Pray for peace. Ask for peace on both sides of a conflict. You don't take sides. You don't hit one side more than another side. And I think he ran into trouble there. I think he's also never brought up that Iran told their citizens to guard infrastructure when President Trump put out the civilization tweet, and that's the one that set the Pope off. Well, if you're gonna hit President Trump on that, you got to hit Iran back and say you also shouldn't be telling your citizens, ordering them literally to be human shields, is which they did. Yeah. So he's very inconsistent with it. I think the people advising the Pope, Jack, the Vatican, from what people tell me, and I'm not Catholic, but Catholics that I know and that I trust told me that this church is it's more progressive now. The Vatican is more progressive. There are probably
ridiculous. They don't need to be leaning left or right. You're supposed to be a religious leader.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing in politics, leaning left or right? And I just want to say something real quick. There was a mention in the chat on LFA TV. Someone said, Sly57 says, Jack will regret that GD remark one day. Let me just say that I can promise you that God has more things to worry about than whether or not I say the word damn after his name. I can promise you that. He's not worried about that. So why are you so worried about it? It shouldn't bother anybody what somebody else does. Look, if I'm going to get smited or whatever, then it's going to happen regardless of whether you say, "Oh, it's going to happen." Why even mention it? Why is it in your dome piece? Why does that bother you? I don't understand.
Well, listen, that's between Jack and God, literally. If Jack wants to repent and say whatever to God in his prayers, that's up to Jack.
And I don't think God cares if I say the word damn after his name, if you want the truth. How many other things are going on in this world that's what he's worried about?
You know, Jack, here's the thing. Religion is politics is something, right? We talked about this. You don't bring it up at the dinner table, right? When you're at a holiday. Religion is even more. Religion is such a personal thing. It's something that people take, and that's good. But
why do they try to force it on other people?
He's
trying to force his religious beliefs on me. He's going to regret that GD remark. What?
Well, I don't listen. I don't know what he was forcing. He's probably saying, "I can't believe you said that," and you're going to pay for that.
No, he's forcing his ideals. Apparently, his ideals is that the GD remark is going to cause problems for me. Those are his ideals.
It's the Lord's name in vain. That's what people say. That's all.
No. I want to ask you something real quick.
I said it.
Before we move on, is specifically saying in the Bible that you can't say GD? Is it GD that it says that's the Lord's name in vain? How is that the Lord's name in vain? I'm not saying damn God. I'm saying God damn. That's different.
Listen, I don't know. I can't quote the Bible.
But how is that taking the Lord's name in vain?
That's what people say. I don't know if it's true or not. And people look at it and people might interpret it.
I just don't get it.
I wouldn't get worked up about it. I wouldn't. And anybody hearing Jack say it, I wouldn't get worked about it either. If you choose not to say that, that's yours. That's fine for you.
I'm saying, why force your shit on me?
Yeah,
no, you may believe that something might happen to me, but I don't. So why be like, hey, Jack, you're going to regret that remote, okay? If I'm going to regret it, just let me regret it. There's no need to say it.
Yeah, it's a personal thing. It's personal, and it should
say it in your head.
It should stay personal. It's not again. Let's get back to the discussion. Like we agree, and I think everybody agrees.
You were cutting out for a second there.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I said, well, let's get back to what we were saying, and we agree that we think the Pope was the Pope in this case. The Pope stepped in it, and Donald Trump, President Trump's not going to back away if he's going to keep going. So I think the next day is where I think the Pope really stepped in it more, is when he really brought up the Trump administration by name. He should have diffused it. He should have ended it right there, but he didn't. And we are where we are. I don't think this is a big deal for me. Again, I'm not Catholic, but I think this blows over eventually. We have other things to worry about. We have, this is kind of a internal, personal thing for people that they can handle within themselves. We have things that are tangible out there that we really have to worry about, which is, how is the war going? How with the ceasefire right now? How is it going right now with Israel and Lebanon right now? How is it going with oil? All that stuff is tangible stuff that we have to focus on. But yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry, I'm still dealing with this.
What happened?
Anyways,
are they going after you? Are they going after you, Jack?
No. You had people saying, I'm just trying to figure out something here, Jay. I'm trying to figure out how saying GD is taking the Lord's name in vain. That's what I want to know, because I'm not saying anything negative about the Lord. So how is that taking the Lord's name in vain?
I never thought about it. I just know it was always said, if you say that word, it is taking the Lord's name.
Exactly. It's always understood. Just like there's always stuff that's understood. You don't question it. You just do it.
We could find out if you want.
I want to find out right now.
Okay.
I'm going to look right now. No, I'm going to look it up right now. I'm going to ask why in the heck that is a problem. How does that take the Lord's name in vain? Give me 1 second. Go ahead and filibuster for a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, religion is a very personal thing. It gets people. Religion touches people in a way that even politics doesn't come close to touching people and getting people emotional about. I understand that, but that's just a fact. That's why the Pope or any religious leader, for that matter, shouldn't be opining so specifically on certain things, on anything to do with world affairs. He should be neutral as far as saying, we of course pray for peace, for everybody to have a good life, for everybody to have opportunity. That's how it should be handled when the Pope is speaking on the world stage.
I want you to hear this, Jay.
Go ahead.
Listen to this. I mean, to me, it sounds absolutely ridiculous, but I want you to hear this.
Okay.
It says, okay, let's see. The phrase GD is widely viewed in many Christian traditions as taking the Lord's name in vain, but the reasoning varies depending on how people interpret the third commandment. It says, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. That doesn't tell you anything. What is taking his name in vain? It's up for interpretation.
I think what they're saying, if you say that, you are damning God.
No. You say God. You're saying God damn, not damn God. There's a difference.
That might.
And listen to what it says. Listen to this. I want you to hear this. Let me go back to it real quick. It says.
This is not my lane. Just so everybody knows, that's not my lane at all. But go ahead.
It's not my lane either. But someone brought it up, so we're gonna go with it. It says you're pairing it with damn, which calls for eternal judgment. So it says you're treating God's name lightly. But I still don't understand how that's in vain.
It's saying damnation. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Well, I'll tell you what I'm not doing. I'm not saying anything negative about God. See, if you reverse the words, that's saying something negative about God. You understand? All right, let's just move off of this. It bugged the hell out of me, because when you see that shit and then people say you're taking the Lord's name in vain, they just assume you are, because that's what they've heard their whole lives. They never actually researched it or understood why, or if it's even real. If that statement is actually taking the Lord's name in vain. Because the third commandment doesn't come out and say, you can't say this, you can't say that. No, that's not right, but that's okay. No, it just says don't take his name in vain. That's it.
Let me put it this way. Here's the last thing I'll say about it. It is something I try to avoid saying, just because I've always been brought up that way. I don't know. I just try to avoid it.
No, there you go. It's how you were brought up. All it is stuff that is passed down from generation. It's something you're told. Nobody knows anything other than what somebody else tells them. That's it.
I'm sure that maybe somebody who's a biblical scholar or somebody who's very religious could come in and probably give us a little more insight into it.
Yeah, but see, Jay, even if you have a biblical scholar himself that's knows every word of the Bible, it says taking the Lord's name in vain. It does not give any examples. So this right here is up for interpretation. You might say it's taking the Lord's name in vain. I might not.
All right. Let's move on.
Oh, boy. All right. I'm sorry, but sometimes, like I said, this is a spontaneous show. That's why I love this show. There's no set, bunch of bullshit we got to talk about. This is a spontaneous show, and we like to go with the flow. And when someone makes a comment like that bothers me or Jay, if something bothers him, we can do the same thing. I don't care.
Yeah, if you didn't believe we're a spontaneous show, you believe it now.
And spontaneous and live. You can tell it's not recorded. We're Yep. All right. Jay, so Trump, I want to ask you something. Do you think Trump is losing his mind? And I don't think I'm not saying he is. I'm asking you because have you seen what he's done to every person that he used to like? Look what he just did to Riley Gaines. I mean, are you kidding me? If you criticize him, Well, at all. One word. He will flip on you in a heartbeat. That's weird.
He's gonna give it back to you. That's for sure.
But no. She's not saying Trump is an idiot. Trump's a moron. No. She's giving valid, fair criticisms, and then he comes back with anger and spite.
She didn't like the Pope. What he said to the Pope, I think,
and that's fine. That's a fair criticism. But yet he didn't come back with criticisms. He came back with anger and spite. Why is he doing that to everybody? Now all of a sudden she's out. Nope, I want nothing to do with her. So he expects, not only does he expect complete loyalty, he expects, God, what do you call it, man? I mean, it's not just complete loyalty. It's like complete, what do you call it, Jay? Well, you can't say.
Fealty?
Yeah, you can't criticize him at all. Even a fair criticism. He wants yes men only.
I don't know that maybe it's this, Jack, and maybe it's this. Maybe he's just sick and tired of it. Maybe he's just sick and tired of everything he does, and it doesn't matter who it is. He's just done. He's tired of it. It's been a long 10 years of him just getting raked over the coals by so many people, and you know what? People have flipped on him before he flipped on them, a lot, for whatever reason. So maybe he's just sick of it, and at this point, he really just doesn't care, and he's just trying to do what he has to do with this presidency. He knows he can't run again, and he's just going balls to the wall. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's just sick and tired. He is human. And maybe he's had it. Maybe he just doesn't want to hear it anymore. I don't know. That could be it. I don't agree with what he did to Riley Gaines. I think he could have said what he said without saying, I never liked her, or I never listened to her. He said what I say. He said, I never listened to Riley anyway, or something like that. I think he could have left Riley Gaines alone. Riley Gaines seems like a nice girl.
Not only is she a nice girl, she was a huge supporter of his.
She still is.
But what he does is he cuts off his nose to spite his face. So just because someone has a valid criticism, not a shot in the dark, not something, saying something bad about him personally, a valid criticism, he gets angry about that and cuts off his nose. Why?
I don't know. Like I said, maybe he's just sick of it.
I can understand that. But I mean, these people, and look, people I like Deborah. Deborah's a super fan. But see what she says right here? She's a fake POS. That is the problem with Trump and some of his followers. They will go wherever he goes, no matter what. This woman is not fake. She was there. She was in the fight for transgender against men and women's sports. She has been in the front lines of this for the whole time. Just because she had one fair criticism, because she's religious, had one fair criticism, all of a sudden, she's not MAGA, she's fake, she's out of the boat. It's just, you can't keep throwing people out of the boat, Jay, and expect to win.
Well, like I said, he doesn't have to run again. And maybe at this point, he doesn't care. No,
he doesn't. But the followers, like a Deb, and I love Deb. But now, if you throw people like this out of the boat, then what? They take their millions of followers with them.
Well, here's what I'll say about Riley Gaines. I never got the impression
she's not fake at all.
I never got that from her.
No.
I thought she's been pretty consistent, if anything, and on an issue that I think she really helped bring to the forefront and bring front and center. I think she's done a great job. I got to be honest.
Yes.
I thought that maybe the president went a little hard on her. I got to be honest. He went a little bit too hard on her. I thought he could have just said, "Hey, we agree to disagree on this one, Riley."
That's all you got to say.
That's all he could have said.
That's all you got to say.
But here's what I'll say. Riley Gaines, I respect the fact that she said, hey, I kind of expected the president to hit me back. I still support him 100%. That's what we're talking about.
So how can you say she's fake if she does that?
Yeah, no, I don't think she is. I think that the way Riley Gaines acted after the president hit her back is the way you got to act. It is what it is. She said, I expected it. I kind of knew it was coming. We know how he is. He's not going to change. And at this point, like I said, I think he's at the point where he just doesn't care anymore. He's tired of it. And I get why he's tired of it. Do I think sometimes he should hold his tongue a little bit when it comes to somebody like Riley Gaines, who I don't think has ever done anything wrong? Yes, he probably should. But he's just probably so sick and tired of it. He's sick and tired of his family being raked over. He's sick and tired of his wife being raked over, and she's done absolutely nothing wrong and been a great first lady. This
wasn't a criticism. This wasn't like
I'm just saying in general.
A hit.
I'm just saying in general. I'm just being general right now.
But this was different, and he does it to every every time there's even the smallest real criticism, they're out of the boat. Tucker Carlson's out of the boat. MTG's out of the boat. Candace Owens is out of the boat. And I'm not saying that they were small criticisms. I'm just giving you examples, okay?
Yeah.
And then you got Riley Gaines is out of the boat. Anybody that says anything about him is out of the boat. And I'm telling you right now, Jay, you cannot win the midterms throwing these people out of the boat. It's not just Trump's boat. It's the Republican boat.
Here's the problem with I don't want to compare Riley Gaines to any of those other people. It's apples and oranges. Those people kind of left the boat. Kind of weird. They flipped 180 really before President Trump said anything back to them. Now he's crushing them. But before he really got involved on them personally, they kind of left the boat. And we've talked about this, Jack, how it was a 180. Really completely. You could disagree with certain things. You could disagree with certain foreign policy, but they really they're the ones that took the daggers out and the knives out first on President Trump and MAGA. And when you criticize MAGA, you're criticizing President Trump. And at a certain point, he had to say something back. He had to. So those people, I get it. I don't want everybody that follows Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens to leave and not vote Republican. We've talked about it a million times, you and I. We need people to vote Republican, regardless if you love everything or not. We don't have the luxury of waiting 3 or 2 or 4 years for quote unquote better Republicans to come along who are going to do almost everything you want. First of all, if you think anybody's going to do everything you want, that's naive. It's not happening. Okay. I think a lot of people on that side, Jack, President Trump aside, the people on that side, they got to kind of grow up a little bit and stop being, oh, I can't believe this. I didn't vote for this. Okay, you didn't vote for certain things. And Jack, say you pick 10 things. Jack Danger has 10 things that he wanted this administration to do. Mm-hmm. Say you get 5 of them. 5 of them. Okay, you could be really pissed off about the other 5 that you didn't get. But you know what? A Democrat gets in, you're going to be -5. You're not getting 1 out of your 10. You're going to be -5, maybe -10. There's going to be 10 things that you really didn't want to happen that are going to happen, and they're going to happen fast. So the other side's kind of got to grow up a little bit and stop acting like children at a playground. You can disagree, but maybe they need to tone it down a little bit. Maybe that's what has to happen here. The president's the president, but maybe they got to tone it down just a touch.
I think every side needs to tone it down just a little bit. I got to tell you one thing though. Tell me this: who is the best president in the world? And no, it's not Donald Trump.
Wait, what are you talking? The best
president of a country in the world.
You mean? Are you generalizing like right now?
Yes, right now. Who is the best president of a country? Any country, who's the best president of their country in the world right now? And it's not Donald Trump. I'm going to tell you who it is, but I want to know what you think.
Well, are you thinking it's
who does the best job?
Who does the best job?
Who has changed their country? Who is the person that delivers?
Oh, it's okay. We got to remember now, President Trump is not a king. We have rules here. We have Congress. Okay.
Well, this person is also the same as they have the same. He does not have the luxuries just like Trump, but he is the same.
Are you thinking Bukele?
Yes, that is exactly who it is. He is
has
the best
more
president.
He has more unilateral power, Jack. He has a lot more unilateral power than
Let me show you something.
An American president has.
So, first of all, he removed all the corrupt judges, all the corrupt politicians, but I want to show you something else. He has gone so far as to remove stupid haircuts and shit in public schools to try to get back some kind of sense of normalcy. Take a look at this, okay? This right here is one of the stupidest looking haircuts I've ever seen in my life. You see this? It's a bowl cut. It's called the Edgar. It's a bowl cut with straight bangs. He said he removed this in public schools as a part of restoring discipline. This guy right here is a man, okay? This guy right here is the best president in the entire world.
Well, here's the thing. He has more unilateral power to do certain things that President Trump can't do. President Trump would love to remove judges.
Most people that have that kind of power, it goes to their head, and that's why it ends up being communism or some kind of horrible. This guy is actually doing everything right. Everything.
So far, he's done a good job. He's done
an incredible job.
So far.
El Salvador is now the place to be. There is no more crime in El Salvador. Did you see what he did? He took the military out there and went and they policed and he got everybody. This is the best president in the world.
Well, like you said, he has that unilateral power.
Not fully,
but a lot. He
has more than Trump. Yeah,
of course, absolutely. I mean,
but
here
even then,
rights. We have the Constitution. We have Congress. We have everything. We have a lot of guardrails on purpose to make sure that we don't have one branch.
He's incredible.
Well, listen. If here's the thing, if you have somebody come in there like a Bukele, right? But he's doing the right thing. I think
that's the thing. That never happens, Jay. That never happens.
No, but he is. So right now he is. But I think
the only one.
I think the haircut's a little bit extreme.
No. See, what you have to know, you guys say, oh, he's telling someone how to cut their hair. You guys have to know the culture down there in El Salvador. It's not like in America. That haircut means something in El Salvadorian culture. It's not some kind of regular, he's got a bowl cut. Oh my God, I can't believe you won't let him get a bowl cut. Go research it and why he's banning that specific haircut in public schools. Then you'll know a little more.
Okay. All right. But I'm just looking it up right now, and it says Nayib Bukele faces very few formal constitutional legal restrictions on his power as of now.
But most people, tell me, Jay, honestly, in that kind of presidency with very little restrictions, most people would do what they want with the power would go to their heads. They'd start doing horrible shit. It's happened time and time again. This is the first person I have ever seen control himself when he has unilateral power and actually help the people. It's what he has done, Jay, is nothing short of a miracle.
Yeah, he's cleaned it up. He's absolutely cleaned the country up. That's why we sent a lot of people down to CENTCOM, right? Because he's through all the gang members.
He's incredible.
All these people that are awful in prison. He broke the gangs up. He stopped it.
I've tried to get him on our show many times. I've sent him messages. It'd be very hard to get him on here.
Oh, we'd love to get him on here. Even one of his lieutenants, we'd take that.
Dude, I've sent him like 100 messages. I don't even know if he reads that shit.
Who knows? But yeah, no. So far, he's done the right thing. But it always is dangerous. It's always dangerous though when one person has that type of power.
Exactly. And that's why I said most people, and I would say 99% of people do the shit that benefits them when they have this kind of power. But this man is doing the right thing.
Yeah, he is. Right now, he is.
That is exceptionally rare.
As far as we know, he's doing the right things. But from what we know, living here, he's doing the right thing for El Salvador.
I've done extensive research on him as well, so trust me.
No, yeah, but it could go the other way, right? Like we know with Maduro, with Chavez, with
it could, but this guy, it's rare when somebody gets in power, has full power, and also has a good conscience, because power attracts psychopathy, attracts sociopaths. But this man is actually one with convictions, actual convictions and morals, scruples, whatever you want to call it, and he actually sticks to those. Despite all the power, despite all the temptation, he's incredible.
Here's a couple of things that he made. No change he made, Jack. He prohibited. So now what he did, abolished with his legislature, which is very much his party at this point. Yeah. Abolished presidential term limits. So allowing
good.
All right. He extended the presidential term 5 to 6 years. Effective after the next election.
He needs to stay there.
Well, yeah, but right. Okay, that'll be the test once he's there for a while. Once he's there for a while.
That's the thing, though. If he allows those terms to go on, or if he doesn't extend it and he gets out, somebody else gets that unilateral power, El Salvador is going to go right back to what it was. A shithole, a murdering shithole.
That's a problem. So
that's why I mean, people see him extending the terms or cutting the term. Oh my God, he's going to make himself No, there's still elections. He doesn't just say, oh no, there's not going to be an election ever again. He actually is doing the right things.
But what happens, say, God forbid, he gets sick and passes away. Now this stuff's in place and the wrong person gets in now. Now you have a problem because now you can't get rid of them.
Because no matter what, whoever got in, let's say those rules were in place, Jay. Whoever got in when he died, let's say those rules weren't in place right now. Whoever got in when he died could still do those rules, still do the same thing. So it doesn't really matter.
Well, right now he put these rules in place. He's the one who got rid of the term limits.
If say he were to die,
Yeah.
And say those rules weren't in place and he were to die. Whoever comes in next could put those rules in place too. So it doesn't really matter.
Well, the reason he was able to do it is because he's very popular, and I think because he's done the right thing. I think that's
the thing.
what it is.
That's
right.
why he's popular.
But now, while he's riding this wave of popularity, he kind of put things in to kind of make himself a more permanent figure.
Good.
Right?
Good.
Well, good until he's not. And
until he's not there. Yes, but hopefully, because that's the thing, though. That's why America is never stable, because we have no continuity of government, none whatsoever. A president could be a president for 8 years. That's it. So if we have a great president for 8 years, the next president come in, tear everything down, just like Biden did. Trump did good for 4 years. Biden came in, tear everything down. That's why I think if you have a great president, a young, great president like Bukele, and you can get these kind of things where he can be a longer-term president, I'm all for it. Because right now, let me tell you, Jay, if somebody else came in and they were a bad president in his spot, they could still extend the terms and stuff if they wanted to.
Okay, now hold on. Let's put this here, America.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. A lot of people thought Barack Obama was a great president.
50% of people in El Salvador. Do you know how many people think he's a great president in El Salvador? Get this. He has a 94% approval rating in El Salvador. 94%. Did Obama have a 94%?
No, he did not. But a lot of people thought he was a great president.
What was his percentage?
If he was able to run for a third term, he would have been very hard to beat. Regardless, he would have been hard to beat. And that's a fact. Can't be denied.
But that's also why I would have loved to have seen Obama against Trump. But anyways, that's also why we have no good continuity of government, though. We have no good continuity of government.
In a way, that's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword. I mean, in a way, it's a good thing, because sometimes we want, like we say all the time, when Congress is shut down, when the government gets shut down, we're like, it's actually good because they can't do any damage, so it's kind of good to say, I get it. Maybe we could tweak the House a little bit. I think every 2 years is a little much. Maybe make House and Senate every 4. Maybe make them both 4-year terms and take the Senate down from 6. I think we could tweak a couple things, but I don't want to see the president. If anything, Jack, what I would do with the presidency is make it 1 6-year term, because I think these guys, because they're through their term, they're campaigning, when they're not a lame duck, they're campaigning half the term.
See, there is absolutely no continuity of government. Why do you think America is always so up and down? We had terrible presidency in 2012 to 2016. We had a good presidency in 2016 to 2020. We had the worst presidency in 2020 to 2024. We have a decent presidency now, and then in 2028, what are we going to get? Jay, that's the problem in America. Now, I understand but see, in Bukele, in places like El Salvador, what people don't understand, in places like El Salvador, it was as bad as things could possibly be. So to have a president that can be great, clean up that country, and extend it, that is it right there. There are different circumstances in different countries, Jay, and El Salvador needed Bukele, and they need him for a long time.
Well, okay, that's El Salvador. I'm talking about here right now. And
this is what we're talking about, though. His thing. It doesn't apply to America. It can't apply to America because it's two wildly different situations, if you will.
Well, to two different systems. And Raina,
exactly.
Obama didn't have me fooled for one single solitary second. I knew Obama was trouble from the minute, actually, that his wife opened her mouth.
I voted for him in 2008, and I'm going to tell you why. I hated the Bushes, for one thing. I hated the Bushes. They were terrible. They got us in the Iraq War. It was a huge lie. It was a huge mistake. Okay. But then Obama comes in and he's this great, speaker. And, he's very articulate. He knows what he's doing. He knows he came out of nowhere and he says all the right things. So then this is before he had done anything. So there's no way for me to know if he's really going to be a bad president. So we voted for him in 2008. Now, in 2012, I didn't vote for him, but there was also not a good option on the other side. Mitt Romney is horrible.
Well, terrible. But let's go back. We'll get to that. With Obama. The thing was, a lot of people didn't know about Obama because the media wouldn't report on it. The one person who was reporting on Obama's, really the real Barack Obama, that he was basically a socialist, a communist, was Sean Hannity. and he would do it ad nauseum every night, as he tends to do with things, but he was. But I just knew from the way Obama, where he came from, a community organizer in Chicago, maybe because I was a police officer in New York City, I knew how those people operated. I knew where he was going to come from, and I was dead right on it from minute one on Obama. And he did fool a lot of people. And Jack, I'll give you a pass on that one, because you were younger then. It was your first election where you could vote. I mean, in 1992, I voted for Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, if you listen to Bill Clinton's speeches from 1992, sounds a lot like America First Donald Trump right now. It was very populist. It was it was also very pro law enforcement. It was pro anti-immigration, a lot of stuff. But with Obama, yeah. He kind of was a smooth talker. We know that. He's a great speaker. He's a great politician, and he did fool a lot of people. And on the other side, you're correct. John McCain and Sarah Palin was not a great ticket.
Horrible.
Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan were brutal. But I voted for both. I voted for both of them because it's kind of like where we are now.
There's no other option.
No, I couldn't vote for Obama. I just couldn't do it.
Not the second time. No, not the second time I couldn't. No.
No, I mean, right. Me. I just knew I was older and I'd been through stuff. And
first time I could vote was in 2008. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had his number instantly. But yeah. But the thing with getting back to El Salvador and the comparison, we became this great superpower because I think it's a give and take. I think a lot of times we don't like it, but a lot of times the system does work. The problem right now is it's kind of out of balance, where we have a runaway judiciary who thinks that's the problem. That's a problem right now.
But look at this.
That's not a bit. But there's checks and balances to put that in place, and Congress.
But they don't work.
Has to start doing their damn job.
But see, that's the thing. When Congress doesn't do their job, there's no remedies. That's why in Bukele, what he's able to do in El Salvador, he can remove the corrupt judges, the corrupt politicians. And I want you to take a look at this. This is what I pulled up. I wanted everybody to see this. Nayib Bukele, president of El Salvador, currently holds the highest domestic approval rating among world leaders. And I want you to check this out. This makes him one of the most popular sitting presidents in modern history, driven largely by the dramatic reduction in gang violence and homicide rates under his tough security policies. He is the number one president in the world and one of the top presidents in world history, Jay.
Yeah, no, if you have the power to take, and it's so simple, isn't it, Jack? Like to stop crime, get the criminals off the street.
It's not if you have the power, Jay, because most people that have that power won't do what he did.
No, the will.
They'll use it for their own ends.
No, the power and the will. The power and the will to do so. Yeah,
that's the thing. He has both.
He's done it.
99% of people do not. They say they will, but once they get that power and they can do whatever the fuck they want, it's a different story.
No, 100%. He's done the right thing for the people of his country, the law-abiding people of his country. Absolutely.
God, I wish he could be president in 2028, man. Could you imagine if we had Bukele, president of America? Oh.
He wouldn't like it. Well, he wouldn't like it because he won't be able to do the same thing. In fact, he'd probably put his head through a wall.
The corrupt judges or anything.
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to do anything about a lot of things. I guess the remedy here, Jack, and people will argue, you say, okay, when Congress doesn't do the job, the president has the ability to do executive orders, but we know that those are only as good as the president when he's in office.
Well, they're not enforceable anyway. They're not enforceable by criminal law.
Right. Well, as far as federal law, a lot of it can be enforced, but once he's gone, they could all be wiped away.
No, Jay, they're only enforceable if the only remedy he has to enforce executive orders is by pulling federal funds from something. That's it. There is no actual enforcement of an executive order. That's why the only thing you can do to Harvard or this or that, pull federal funds. That's it. The executive orders don't actually, the president doesn't have any real power, if you want the truth.
Well, what he can do is direct his agencies under his cabinet to do certain things while he's president. Then
he can.
Yeah, he can, like with the Department of Homeland Security and stuff like that. Only Democrats, Jack, get the right executive orders that it seems that other presidents can't take away, like DACA. President Trump is somehow not able to just write DACA away, even in his first term. Can't do it. Barack Obama with his unconstitutional citizenship program for Dreamers, that doesn't get wiped away because I guess he's a Democrat. Yeah. There was other things that Barack Obama did. TPS, like Joe Biden with the Haitians and Yemen. President Trump, for some reason, can't just come in and stop the TPS.
By the way, that's coming back. Did you see that?
Yeah, today I did it again. We got 10 Republicans now that actually pushed it through the House. The Senate's never going to put it.
350,000 Haitians, man.
Yeah, well, it's never going to pass because the Senate will never get through. And God forbid it ever did. The president will never sign it. But the fact that we had 10 Republicans sign on to this to help Democrats push it through is absolutely sickening. It really is. It really is.
But Jay, see, the thing is in America, and I'm going to tell you the problem. Forget the continuity of government. I think that's a problem, but forget that for a minute. We have no remedy. Not even the president of the United States can remove a corrupt judge. We have no remedy other than impeachment and then removal, which never happens. You know how hard it is to impeach and remove a judge? Do you know how hard it is to impeach and remove a congressman? It's why it never happens. It's why they have to resign. It's the only way to get them out of there. So the removal process for corrupt judges, corrupt politicians is so difficult. That is why America is never going to be the country that El Salvador can be overnight. El Salvador can be that country overnight because they can remove corrupt judges and corrupt politicians like that. We cannot. We have to have, Jay, there has to be some kind of constitutional amendment, some kind of law signed, something where it amends the process to remove corruption. We have to, Jay. This is not working.
No, I think when it comes to judges and members of Congress, there probably has to be something. But here we go. On the flip side of what you said, the country also can't go to complete hell as fast because there are mechanisms in place, the three branches of government, the checks and balances. El Salvador, like I said, if God forbid something happens to Bukele, somebody comes in, it could go right to hell instantly.
It could.
Very hard to do here. Very hard to do here.
God, I wish I could get him on the show, Jay. We got to get him on the show, man.
Keep writing.
Hey,
he can't ignore it forever.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we're going to try to get General Flynn on the show too.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to have General Flynn come on. And Jack, here's the thing with Congress. We said Congress has to do it. Congress has the power to impeach judges, but it's so political. Boasberg got smacked down again by an appeals court. Again, Boasberg has made how many, just to me, unlawful rulings, and he knows it. But
they can't impeach him because it's political, Jay. Not only is it political, there is so much red tape, Jay. That's purposely done. That is purposely done.
Yes, and there's a good and a bad to that. And right now it's mostly bad because at the same time, like, that's Congress doing their job. If you guys would stop being so partisan and just realize that Boasberg is not ruling in good faith. He's not ruling based on a law. That's the thing. You'll never get enough Democrats or Republicans to even come out.
Because the Democrats, one of those judges are always on one side or the other, Jay. So whatever side that judge is on is not going to vote to impeach him. That's why you're never going to get removal of corrupt judges or corrupt politicians. There has to be something else, a different mechanism, Jay. We have to get it done.
Yeah, like how about if you get overruled by appeals courts a certain amount of time, you get kicked off the bench? I mean,
why can't we do something like that? Like, right. Yes, if you're overturned, if you get 5 overturns, you get suspended. 10 overturns, you're gone from the bench. Or if you're a congressperson, right? Censures. 2 censures, you're suspended. 5 censures, you're removed from Congress.
Yeah, something like that. So certain, thresholds where if you screw up a certain amount of times, you're out. I mean, it's kind of the way the rest of the world works.
It's the way the whole world works, exactly. Except for Congress and judges.
Except for politicians and judges in our country. That
and
is
judges
true.
are politicians, by the way. They are appointed by politicians or they run for the judicial office. So don't get it twisted. Judges are politicians.
Yeah, I mean, our judiciary is a big problem. It is. It's become very politicized, and more so on the left. It's brutal for us on the left. It's terrible. The left, and that's the Republicans' fault. Right under our nose, they've done so many things. They've infiltrated so many things. Hollywood, academia. Now,
the media is the worst. I mean, academia is terrible. You're right, because it's destroying our country by dumbing down these people and making them have manufactured outrage. That's what they do, manufactured. But the media is the worst part, because the media, they have infiltrated every part of the media. And don't get it twisted. They've been doing this for decades, getting all their people in the right spots in the media. That way, when someone like Trump comes along, they can push it as hard as they can. It's why The only place that you'll ever hear anything negative said about Democrats is either with Scott Jennings or the other guy on CNN once in a while, or on Fox News with certain people. Otherwise, every single thousands of local stations, thousands of affiliates, they will never say anything negative about the Democrats, and they will never, ever pull up any of the stories that matter. See Hunter Biden's laptop.
Or they'll just flat out lie about it.
Yep.
This has been, like you said, decades. It's been a very long game, probably 120 years.
They're brilliant. I got to say, it's brilliant, Jay.
They know what they've, taken that communist kind of playbook is what they've
been
done.
doing it since communism really invaded America in the 20s and 30s. That the OSS turned into the CIA because of communism. Okay, the OSS turned into the CIA because of communism. It was starting to infiltrate America, so they wanted to stop it at its choke point outside of America. That's why OSS turned into CIA. But guess what? A lot of them were already here and putting the pieces into place. And now it's all in place, Jay, all of it.
Yeah. It started with Woodrow Wilson, really, where it started to really take off. But yeah, that's interesting what you said about the CIA, because if you talk to people from Russia, they'll tell you that a lot of the programs that you saw in the 1960s, we talk about them all the time on here, right? You say Artichoke, you say MK Ultra. They got all that framework from the KGB in Russia.
Oh, definitely.
Russia.
Without a doubt, KGB is the original. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where a lot of it came from. Yes, that is a fact. That's a fact. But yeah,
the KGB are the CIA before the CIA.
Yeah, like all those experiments that were going on, started in Russia, and the techniques were brought here. That's for sure.
I gotta say, despite them being a mortal enemy back then, the Soviet Union were very good at their jobs. What they did, they were very good. I mean, it's why that's why US and Soviet Union were neck and neck all the time. It's why it was the Cold War. They were a worthy opponent. They were very good.
Well, yeah, and again, the government, it was. You want to talk about state-run TV?
And they were ruthless, though.
Absolutely.
The Soviet Union could do things that America couldn't do because Soviet Union was ruthless. So that's why. I mean, they were good, man. They were good.
But again, they were good, but again, that eventually runs out because that's what happens, and that's why, like we were talking earlier, like just in this show about how it frustrates us with the non-continuity or how things get gummed up. But in a way, I guess if I had a lean, I'm going to lean with having to deal with that and remedy that. Then I would go the other way, where things can just be boom, shut down instantly on you, and your life is just over because if you said something.
I have to agree. I have to agree. As much as I love Bukele and what he's doing there, if something were to happen to him or he lost an election and the next guy came in and was the exact opposite, but was able to have these long terms and no terms, we're going to have serious issues. Okay. Yeah. That's why we have the term limits here for president. Why we don't have them for Congress, I have no idea. I mean, that should have been done. Why in the hell did the states do president but not Congress at the same time? Doesn't make any sense to me, but I will say that that's why we have it for the president, because if things get as bad as they can, at least he can't keep going and going, so that's worrisome for El Salvador. Right now, El Salvador is a peach. I mean, they got Bukele. He's like probably in his 40s. That man could be a great president for the next 30, 40 years if he wants to. He is amazing, but the second he is gone, I don't care if he chokes on a chicken bone, if he's shot in the back of the head, if he just decides to quit, if he disappears, whatever. The second he is gone, if somebody else comes in, like I said, 99% of people do not have the moral scruples that he has. Most of them, the power goes right to their head, and there will be a lot of pain for that country. So I got to say, I'm more apt to lean towards America's system because, it can save you.
Well, yeah, as fast as he put all those gangbangers and murderers in those prisons, they can come out just as fast. All it would take is one order from the person in charge.
But I got to give him props, though, man. My God, did you see El Salvador before he became president? Do you remember that? What it was?
I just know it was someplace you just didn't ever want to be.
Let me tell you, it was basically. Let's put it this way. Think of a Mexican, cartel shootout. Mixed with the Wild West.
Yeah.
Okay. It was basically that in El Salvador, the murder capital of the world. Yeah. And I mean, a place where poverty, murder. It was just terrible. But now it's like the exact opposite. I got to give the man his props. That's why, I mean, what president, first of all, has unilateral power and also a 94% approval rating?
Yeah, no, listen, and for us to think about it, Jack, it doesn't seem like that difficult of a thing to do for people.
Not
like
if you
us,
have the power. But most people,
it
goes
moral
to their
compass.
head.
Well, you have to have the moral compass. You have
That's
to have
the problem.
You have to not be a complete narcissistic, just maniac.
That's the problem.
know?
People, that job draws narcissism. It draws sociopaths and psychopathy. And that's why most of the people end up like a Stalin, like a Hitler. They end up like a Mao. That's why they end up like that. They end up like a Genghis Khan. But this man beat all the odds and ended up being a great person. And that is unbelievably rare.
Yeah, they got lucky. Let's put it that
Very lucky. And let me tell you, most people that are watching this will say, oh, no, man, it's easy. I'd go in there. I'd do this. I'd do that. Let me tell you something. When you're in that situation and you have the power, you don't think about it. Your moral compass changes when you think about if you had unilateral power, God's power to do whatever you wanted right now, whatever you wanted. Okay. Are you going to go out there and help other people, or are you going to help yourself? Let's be real.
Me, if I'm running it, I've always been of the mindset that if I have all that power and if I had all that unlimited money, whatever it was, I'm going to be fine. I would like to help other people. That's me. But I've never been in that situation.
Well, everybody's going to say that.
That's how I think
everybody will say that.
That's how I think I would act.
Yeah, everybody will say that. But once you actually have that power, the temptation is beyond belief.
I'm sure it is. Absolutely. I'm sure it is. But all things considered, I'm glad we have the system we have here now. Do we need?
I have to agree now. At first, I didn't like when we started the show. I liked Bukele.
Wait a minute. You tell me I flipped you on this.
Well, I was thinking the main problem was I was thinking about how bad it could be with someone that's not a Bukele, and we would have no way to get them out if we had that system. You know what I mean? At least in our system. Now, I will say we had Franklin Roosevelt got 4 terms. If you guys remember that,
it got switched. That's when it
That's
got switched.
why it got switched. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So just admit, just like I had to do with the moon stuff, that I kind of turned you on this a little bit. Let's go.
I'll tell you what.
Go.
I will admit it if you admit that the moon landing is not real.
Why do I already talked about that. Why do I have to admit something?
If you say, Jack, the moon landing is not real, I will say, Jay, you're right. I like our government system in America. Go ahead. Let's do it.
I already said that.
No. You never said the moon landing wasn't real. I want to hear you say it.
Wait a minute. You say what I said first because we're talking here and now.
Okay. I will say it. Then you got to say it. All right. I want to hear it.
Go ahead.
Because you know it's not real. Let's be real. We only got a couple minutes left. Are you going to say it?
Go ahead and say it, and then I'll say what I have to say. Go ahead.
No. Are you going to say what I said?
You got to trust me.
No, I can't. No. There's only 2 minutes left. Let me know now. Are you going to say it if I say it?
I will say what you think I'm going to say. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So, Jay, I have to admit, after hearing about all this, I got to say, I like our government's. You're right about our government's continuity. It's better, even though it's not a continuity of government, it's better than other places because there's no remedy to get people out that are bad.
Okay, fine. So right. You'll take that over the alternative for sure.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes. Okay, good. So as far as the 1969, specifically moon landing, I am at the point where I'm going to say that I do not believe that 1969 specifically, because that's the one we looked at specifically. I'm going to say I do not believe that the 1969 moon landing happened. They haven't proved it to me. They need to.
There it is, Jay. That's what I like to hear, my man. And just so you know, saying the 1969 moon landing happens means the other ones didn't happen either. There is no way There is no way in hell, if they fake that moon landing, that in a year or two they're going to do 5 more moon landings and go up there, and all of a sudden they're going to have the technology. No. It didn't happen, Jay. It did not happen.
All right. Listen, I'm just sticking to 1969 right now. You got that out of me. Now give everybody our social media so we can get the hell out of here.
Take that. All right, hey guys, make sure you follow us on X, YouTube, Rumble, Kick, Instagram. Screw TikTok, not TikTok. They suck unless it's Jay's, which is at @Penionsvary with an A. Follow us on X, YouTube, Rumble, Kick, Instagram, Secret America TV. It's the same screen name on every social media. Also, make sure you go to maxassociates.etsy.com, the #1 USA Pride gifts and patriotic apparel shop. I can promise you, if you go there, you will not regret it. You got nothing to lose. Just go look at the stuff. You know, you got nothing to lose. Jay, we got to go. I think we solved all the problems we can for one day, though. So I think we did a great job, man. For Jay Gatling, I am Jack Danger. Thank you for watching Secret America.
You've been listening to Secret America.